Welcome. Those are my glasses. Happy Types on Tuesday. Here we have a mess of a room and a bird. I'm the bird, room's the mess. And I'm going to be talking about how I ruined my wedding in the perception of my previous self. This is for those of you who maybe have, say, a wedding coming up or any other event that you are anticipating and maybe have high hopes for. In short, don't have too high of hopes, but in length, this video. MollythePerson talks about things. Yeah! So it's funny, I tried to make a video about this topic shortly after the wedding on the honeymoon in Hawaii, and the scenery was beautiful, but I was kind of stumbling on my words. I hadn't fully processed or grown from the experience yet. It was still fresh. You should not, I don't know how to phrase this. I don't know. How could you? So I don't think I was quite ready to talk about it. I got married last May, so now I've had more time to reflect what sort of went down and why it wasn't the best day of my life, which is totally reasonable. There are so many other days to be had, and now I kind of see it as like the best day of my life should be, today or tomorrow, or you don't want it to already be past you. It should be yet to come every day. So the best life of my life. So there's a lot of pressure for certain events to be epic and amazing and perfect, and this is partly due to the media. I think social media, the movies, the whole lot. Especially weddings, you see all these wedding movies and all these wedding vlogs, and nowadays it's like very expensive to get a videographer, and you want it to look like it was like you were living in a freaking movie that day, like a cinematic experience instead of just the real experience that it was. And I think a lot of this has a part in our expectations. Frank was watching the Bills football game, and they're actually doing quite well, so rah rah. It's actually Sunday, but I'm posting this on Tuesday because it's my Types on Tuesday. Moving forward, I got married in Iowa, in my hometown, and the morning of the wedding I took a shower in my mom's room because she has a nice water pressure. Water pressure is important. And afterwards, I was like, that was the most important shower of my life. And I was half joking, but also there was a part of me that really thought that that shower mattered the most. It would affect how my hair dried, how my hair looked on that big epic wedding day. It would affect how, just everything. I shaveth my legs, etc., etc. Just right off the bat, that was, though humorous, I'm already putting pressure on the day being the best ever. And if you put pressure on something to be the best ever, then it's likely going to disappoint you because you can't control anything. You think you can control everything, especially for those of you who are here for Myers-Briggs. Jays, I think, have a much harder time enjoying their wedding than, say, a P. And part of that is because you are trying to control the external environment, and it's hard to just shut that off because in my head I would be a guest at this wedding and I'd be able to enjoy it and have fun with everyone else and just enjoy the party that I planned. But instead I was the hostess with the mostest anxiety. So throughout the day, a lot of mishaps happened or mishappened, and that's gonna happen or mishappen, and I knew it would because everyone would tell you, things aren't gonna go as they plan, so just go with the flow. But how can you truly be prepared for that? I guess my answer to that, so advice to those of you who are anticipating a big event, would be to practice your self-care, meditate. The times when you're busiest are the times you need it the most. And the times leading up to the wedding, I kind of cut corners and I didn't practice my gratitude. I usually write in a gratitude journal and do morning meditation and certain other practices that I just didn't have time for, because instead I wanted to ruminate and think through, well, ruminate's really the past, but ruminate the future, like go through the day and the events and think through everything. And that's not really a great use of your time. Also, just being easy on yourself, like going easy on yourself, that not everyone is cut out for a huge event of everyone staring at them and chaos happening. Some people thrive off that or just flow well with it, but some people don't. And so for you to expect the same event or the same sort of event to work for you as it does for everyone else is just silly. That's why we love the Myers-Briggs, right? Because it shows different personalities fitting better in different environments, or certain things working better, your certain flow state and whatnot. And while I think a certain type of wedding would work really well for any type, or like, say, if I eloped, that would have been really nice. But it was a huge wedding, and I will say that everyone seemed to have a great time, and I saw it as my duty to go let everyone know how special they were to me and how much it meant that they came. And so I went around and talked to everyone, and I extroverted feelered it up. And it was it ended up being very exhausting, and I used a lot of my energy to make sure that everyone's having a great time without remembering to kind of be there with my husband. And he had a heck of a time. He was really present and really enjoyed the event, which is great. And I think also on a different day I may have, and that's the thing, like, you never know what mood you're going to be in or how you're going to respond to certain things, so you can't expect yourself and hold yourself to this standard to just be a perfect responder to all stimuli. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And so even at the time, I forgave myself. I was like, Molly of the future, know that this was very difficult to be present, so forgive. Because I knew that I would be hard on myself later. And I was like, why couldn't I just be present? But I remembered my wedding day self telling my future self that it was hard, and remember that. So love yourself, forgive yourself for maybe having a hard time throughout the event, because you're not perfect, and also that event wasn't everything. Whether it was a graduation or a big party or whatever the event, it happened, and now you have now. If you're living in the past or the future, are you really truly living? So just being in the present is a wonderful way to limit your anxiety and depression. So what are you going to do for yourself right now? Go Bills! I had another thought coming to you from the leather jacket. I've ruined in my head a couple events, not just my wedding. And I think it's, yes, the expectations thing. And also it's not just the expectations we put on it, it's the expectations other people put on it, and just the pressure for these events to be so huge, like people leading up to the event, like, are you so excited? Or after it, wasn't it the best day ever? Or certain things that might make you think that it has to be, or it should be, and you're not in the norm. But I think it's quite normal to not have your day match these sky-high expectations, that whether it's you or your mother or someone putting it on you. So forgive yourself, forgive those around you, just forgive. Just spend a whole night just forgiving. It'll be really productive. And yes, so I've had this for numerous events, and I think it's the expectations, and also sometimes just when a huge event's happening that you thought about when you were a kid, it can just be kind of strange and surreal. And so I think it's normal to kind of have almost an existential crisis, or just a moment where you're like, oh, so this is it, this is the proposal, or this is the thing that you once had maybe fantasized about or something. But I guess I'm just normalizing it, because I feel like people just talk about how it was perfect, and I don't think that it always is. So, and that's okay, because there's just so many days to be had. I mean, hoping that you don't pass tomorrow, but I'm gonna end on that dark thought. There's a dog out there. I don't know where he is. There was this little 2-year-old that I saw yesterday who didn't really care about the humans, but every dog she saw, she kept pointing at, and she's like, "Doggy." And it was very cute, and reminded me of the innocence of children, and when children love animals before they bite, and how we like other humans too before they bite, and then we feel scared. Don't be scared, or do be scared, but know that you can trust again and love again. Isn't that right, Franco? Isn't that right? Would you like to offer any last words?
Go Bills.
They lost. But they'll get the next one. Click on this video. I don't know where it is. And then subscribe. And click the bell button for notifications. And comment below an event that you had or are anticipating and how you are going to choose to forgive and love yourself.